With America's military stretched so thin, the Pentagon is lowering the bar for recruits. But its don't ask, don't tell policy on homosexuality is still in place. Some gays are trying to change that. CNN's Jason Carroll's got more on this story. This is a fascinating case, I think.
It absolutely is. You know, Soledad, thousands of gays have been discharged from the armed services under the Pentagon's policy, and they say that's hurting military readiness. So many of them are trying to re-enlist, knowing they'll be turned away, but hoping it will help gain attention for their cause.
It's clear there's a need for more soldiers to serve in the armed forces. Troops now serving in Iraq are having to stay longer than expected. In its effort to recruit 80,000 soldiers this year, the Army is easing its entry requirements.
This is actually one of the highest awards you can get in the Air Force.
Rhonda Davis, a former officer with 10 years of decorated service in the Air Force and Navy, hoped to help fill the depleted ranks by serving her country again.
When I showed him my discharge papers and it says homosexual admission on it, he says, that's the one thing that we cannot give a waiver for.
Davis was discharged this past summer after admitting to being gay. It happened after attending a rally in support of gay marriage while in uniform. Under the military's don't ask, don't tell policy, admitted homosexuals cannot serve.
It makes me angry because I think, you know, in 10 years, I never even came in late.
Davis thought she might be granted a reprieve after seeing Army waivers that are being granted, such as the Army's high school diploma requirement, the age cap lifted from 35 to 42, and a waiver may also be allowed for admitted drug use or misdemeanor convictions.
If I said I did drugs in the past, they could give me a waiver for that. But homosexuality, they said, is the one thing, it's just nothing he could do about it. It was unwaivable.
But some military analysts say don't ask, don't tell should remain in place because to lift it could compromise discipline and safety within the ranks.
If we open the military to advancing the homosexual agenda, it would be contrary to the interests of the volunteer force. It would actually hurt recruiting. With a war going on, this would be the worst time to introduce this element of social engineering.
The Department of Defense told CNN its policy on the matter is clear. Davis worries don't ask, don't tell is hurting the armed forces, especially now. Since the policy was adopted in 1993, the Defense Department says close to 11,000 men and women have been dismissed.
Not to mention the fact that there's thousands of people out there who would like to serve in the military, who don't, and they're perfectly qualified otherwise, and they can't serve in the military because they're openly gay.
Davis says while she would like to serve her country, for now she'll have to do it another way, by speaking out and fighting for a different kind of freedom.
And last year, the Military Readiness Act was introduced into Congress. It's a bipartisan bill aimed at repealing don't ask, don't tell. But again, there are many critics out there who say repealing that policy at this time just is not good for the military.
So what can Rhonda Davis do? Anything? I mean, can she sue for discrimination? Is she just...
She could sue, but at this time she's not choosing to do that. Maybe perhaps she's looking at a case that just recently happened last year. An Air Force nurse did sue. That case didn't really go anywhere. It's on appeal at this time. So other than what she's doing right now, what else can you do with a policy that's still in place?
Does she say she has regrets about it? I mean, she came out very openly.
No regrets. No regrets whatsoever.
10 years in the Navy.
10 years in the Navy.
Down the tubes, essentially.
Down the tubes. And she said it was the best 10 years of her life. She has no regrets about coming out. She just hopes there will be a time when others can come out and continue to serve as well.
Jason Carroll, great story. Thank you.
Thanks.